Hey, what's up? How's it going? Hey guys, it's Iris. Today I am doing a little college Q&A. So I asked you all on my Instagram to send me questions about college, so I'm gonna answer some of those. If you haven't already, make sure you follow me on Instagram so that you can participate in these kinds of videos and give me feedback. I'm pretty active on the stories there, so if you wanna know what I'm up to every day, that's usually posted. So I'm gonna go through the questions that I got today and answer some of them. I have not looked at these before filming this video. I know that some people I know and some people I don't know ask me questions, so I'm just gonna go. So the first question is, what year am I in? I am a sophomore. I go to Wesleyan University in Connecticut, not in Virginia, not in Ohio. Sometimes I get comments about it. Something that's really interesting is that in college, the class years are much less separated. Freshman fall, like you kind of exist in your own category, and throughout freshman year, it's kind of your own category. But once you're above that, everyone's really just like mixed together. And same if you're a freshman, you can get to know people in all different class levels. It's a very different dynamic than high school was, at least for me, where I didn't really interact with people who weren't in my grade, but here I interact with people in every year. Like it does not make a difference. It's kind of funny to see the people who were juniors last year go on to be seniors this year versus the seniors I met last year, because to me last year the seniors were like, oh my god, they're so much older, and now it's like, now I've known people who like make that year transition and I'm like, wow, you guys are actual children still. This next question is, what's your favorite subject? I am a film major, so film, but also I'm a German minor, so German mayhaps? I don't know, it's kind of hard to say. I would say my big like 3 are German, film, and then audio engineering. I've taken a couple audio engineering classes. I'm in this like 6-person tutorial right now that I really love. Oh, it's actually 5 people because one of them dropped. Oops, I'm in a German film class and that's probably my favorite class this semester. Next question is tips on balancing college and work. Last semester I had 2 jobs. One is a CA, but that was just kind of an hour a week. That was like totally fine. And then sound co-op. And for my main job, I like set my hours completely by myself. I just take shifts when I want and I do some stuff as a manager. So it's like pretty easy on me. I don't have experience having like a full-time job with college or like a weekly like part-time job. My part-time job has like, you choose your own hours, so that makes it really manageable. If I don't have a lot of time one week, it's not really a big deal. Mason asks, why is it so hard? I don't know, Mason. I wish I knew the answer. Luckily for me, this semester has not been super bad. It's been challenging, but not like overwhelming, which is fantastic because last semester was really hard for me. Next question is, how hard was it for you to get into Wesleyan? I don't really know if I have a good answer to this. I was in AP classes throughout high school and scored relatively highly on the exams as well as in the classes. I generally had like A's or A minuses in all my classes. I applied early decision, which means that I had a higher chance of getting in. There's just a higher acceptance rate with the early decision folks, so that's part of it. But honestly, like I couldn't tell you how hard it was. I filled out the application and put in a lot of work during high school, and that's kind of the answer to that question, you know? It's sort of like a bunch of different pieces. Sean is asking me, what's my favorite thing? I really like spending time with my friends and the people I love. It's super important to me.
One thing about college is that you're all like constantly around each other, so you like constantly get to see each other, and like plans can happen like super last minute, and it's just really easy to like hang out, you know? So that's one thing I really like. I like that all of my friends live in like a super close vicinity to me.
It feeds the soul, you know, and that's really important to me. I also really like working out, having a routine for that. It changes everything for me. It makes me less anxious and less stressed and just like really like zen, like so calm. It's insane. How to not be broke. Get a job is probably the fastest answer. Try not to eat out a lot if you can. Get groceries and cook for yourself. Knowing how to make some things that can last you like a couple nights is pretty great. I personally like making stews and such. Meat and potatoes, my man. So cooking is definitely part of it. Not spending too much money where you don't need it. I tend to only buy things that I absolutely will use. But I would say a job is the fastest way to accomplish not being broke, is to be actively earning money.
I sound a little bit ignorant in this because I'm not really acknowledging low-income students at all, where it's sort of like a lot of the money you earn goes directly into your tuition. No matter how much you earn, like, it's not gonna really do anything for you because school is super expensive. So in a lot of the cases, the system is built to make it so you can't actually have a livable amount of income. So it's not entirely your fault. And you can try to do things to mitigate it, but it's not always something you can control. So doesn't that suck?
Dilly Millie Trilliilius asks how to be cool. I'm not sure if you should be asking me that question. I think the social scene in college is super different than high school, and being cool means something entirely different. I think being yourself is completely part of it. Being kind to people is really part of it. I am now like pretty outgoing. I wasn't last semester because I was on birth control and it was fucking me up. I have a whole video about it. Check it out. I find that sort of having a charisma and just like being happy to interact with people kind of makes you a cool person in a way. If you're always like icy and you're not really talking to anybody because you think you're too cool to talk to them, or you think that's what cool people do, that's very, very silly, and you should immediately stop doing that. Because in my experience, like, the people that I admire are people who are kind and friendly. Also hot. Be hot. Another question is, why Wesleyan, and when is that cute boy Jace gonna be back? Jace asked that question. So, you tell me, buddy. And the reason why I chose Wesleyan is I visited the campus with my family and it really just felt right. I spent a lot of time kind of walking around different campuses and it felt like I could be happy here, and I'm like so glad that I ended up here because I love the people here, and that's what it always comes back to, is I really love the people here. And not to mention like the quality of the courses, like so good. Like, I'm constantly challenged and the professors I've had are really wonderful. There are some not great professors, but I've gotten really lucky. Another question is, how many essays are you writing per week? Not. I'm not. A lot of the times papers for me kind of end up in the same week because professors are like, okay, this is a midterm-ish time, I'm gonna assign a paper for that. So 2 weeks ago I ended up writing 2 papers in 1 week and then kind of a third paper in that same week in the weekend. It really depends on what classes you're taking too, because that was for 2 film classes and then my German class. So different classes will have different types of assignments. Generally, like English, social studies classes, film classes will have papers, and then like STEM classes aren't gonna have papers, they're gonna have problem sets and stuff like that. I would say don't get too worried about it. I mean, during midterms and finals, you're always gonna be kind of swamped because that's when things are like overlapping, or when professors have super fast turnaround times. Like, both of the papers I wrote had 2-day turnarounds. We love film classes, so that's kind of part of it for me, is like film papers tend to have super fast turnarounds but are generally pretty straightforward to write. My last question is, what was my biggest regret freshman year? I have regrets related to people, especially in sort of romantic contexts. Specifically a girl, specifically a boy, where I was just sort of like, I was a chaser for someone who didn't want to be chased, and that sucked, you know? That's sort of like, ooh, it felt bad for everyone, and I kind of wish I had just let it be and not let my self-worth, especially second semester, get so caught up in like other people's attention. I didn't really have a close circle of friends, so I didn't really have anyone to support me, and I don't really regret not having a friend group because I think I got to know a lot of different people, but it definitely kind of changed the game. Once I was like struggling, it was like very hard to find someone who was actually like there for me and knew how they could support me. I don't think I have regrets for classes or missing out on anything. It's not really anything I'm thinking of that I'm like, dang, I wish I had done that. It's just sort of things that I had done that I wish I hadn't done, you know? So that was it for this little Q&A. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. I am so hungry. I'm gonna go grab dinner right now. I don't know what else to say. I'm just gonna leave it here. Bye. It's bitch.
I'm running for president, and I'm asking you today to be part of an unprecedented grassroots campaign of 1 million active volunteers in every state in our country.